Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Harrisburg City Council Legislative Session, January 13, 2015. I would like to first say Happy New Year to everyone. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Mr. Petrosky, please do the roll call.
Mr. Allett?
Present.
Mr. Baltimore?
Present.
Ms. Daniels?
Present.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Present.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here. And for the record, let me just inform everyone and the public that Ms. Reed will be out until February 1st of 2015. She is on medical leave. Invocation, Mr. Baltimore.
Please join me in a moment of silence for all those we lost over the holidays and the beginning of this new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baltimore. Pledge allegiance, Ms. Wilson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to communications, we have none this evening. Moving on to courtesy of the floor. I will start at my right. Anyone who would like to come to the mic, please do so at this time.
Good evening. My name is Robert Kennedy. I'm here today representing Save the American Youth and VetNet Initiative. My phone number is 877-9943. Buenos días. Bonjour. Les jours dans la semaine sont lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, jeudi, samedi, dimanche. L'information du jour est le jour à papier, la plume. The news of the day, really, out of all the days of the week, the news of the day is something I tried to give acknowledgement the last time I was cut off about the way our hate is headed. I don't have to say more. I asked you, I think my last word was read the news. Do I have to say more? What happened in France? Let me just get to the letter that City Council gave me in 2010 when I tried to send a recommendation to the city. And the City Council president was Ms. Gloria Martin Robertson, and I won't read the whole letter. But she said, I'm in receipt of a three-phase plan that you introduced, a recommendation for preparing the next generation, revitalization of the city, neighborhood, and helping the homeless. My whole objective, out of the knowledge that I have, out of the training that I have, is to really, ladies and gentlemen, young boys and girls in Dauphin County, is to prepare the next generation. Who am I? I'm a trained military soldier. General Lynch and I went through the same community building training, okay? We're trained to build communities, and that is what that's what I aim to do. In 2010, I think it was, 2013, August 4th, front page of the newspaper. My house was the first house got burnt on 2044 Susquehanna Street. I had a home that I was working out of, working with the children in Dauphin County in the program that we have. Detective Carter had brought me back home after we had gone to leadership training that year, and my house was the first one got burnt. Read the newspaper. I went to court with the young lady that burnt my house, and I cried in court. What was I crying for? Not because of the building. Building means nothing to me, because we've seen generations lost. I begged the judge to really give us that young lady and let us put it in some of our program, and that's what we're going to do now. I just asked the general public and everybody to join me. We're losing our kids, as I said before, to ISIS and everybody else, because we're doing nothing for them. That's how they feel. And I'm going to stop now. But let me give you an idea that I tried to warn everybody back in. Look at the newspaper, Patriot News, February 26, 1990. And that's where I had started last time. I put in for a grant for Robert P. Casey, and I go quickly. And I'm a director of an intelligence organization. It's called USAFAC, United States Intelligence Force Against Crime, when I was in Fort Bragg. I'm not going to give you, and I cannot give you, any classified information. But I put in for a grant because I wanted to put some of the programs through the school And the grant was $20,000 under the Pen Free program, and I wanted to focus on hate groups. And one of my programs was called ROAD, R-E-O-A-D. It was the reality of the dream that Martin Luther King talked about. And the other one was called YVA, the Young Voice of America. And the paper would tell you that my focus was on hate groups, occult organization, and organized crime. Ladies and gentlemen, today, religion is confusing our kids. That's how we're recruiting our kids. If it's anything other than righteousness and teaching the right thing, they'll confuse our kids. So I just ask everybody to wake up with me. Again, I told you I'm going to do the leadership training this year. I'm going to teach cyber intelligence. Please, ladies and gentlemen, wake up with me and join Dauphin County. We just met today at 12 o'clock. Dauphin County is bending over back. We need more mentors on the street. We need more ladies and gentlemen on the street. Our problem is in the county, in the communities. If we don't face the children and the families, we're not going to solve our problem. I thank you. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Cantor. Anyone else to my right, please?
Good evening. My name is Mr. Boyd. I'm a community activist. This evening out on the Hill, it's ironic that we have two meetings that are running at the same time. Allison Hill is part of a disease, part of a cancer that needs to be operated, and a surgery needs to be done immediately. I get so tired of coming here, addressing this council with some that are here, some attorneys sit on this sort of bench here, and we know what's going on in the city of Harrisburg. We talk about that we need improvements. We also talk about blight. This honorable mayor ran his campaign on blight, cleaning up. I walk daily in Allison Hill and South Allison Hill, and I count the days, the hours. But now I come in this chamber, and congratulations that you passed the 2015 budget. But say that to people in Allison Hill that are not throwing trash and garbage on the streets. Not only in alleyways, but there are other places in Allison Hill that there are tires, everything else. But we have the audacity to ask for thousands and thousands of dollars and say to the community that they're doing a great job. I am not a lawyer. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm an activist. If you're doing a great job, be rewarded. If you're doing a great job, hey, you need to have that. But as far as this administration is concerned, in 2015, how dare you? And how dare this council to award them that kind of thing when certain parts of this city are not taken care of? Once again, the honorable mayor, I have nothing to say bad about you, but I'll say the infamous mayor of our great city, you ran on that ticket. Blight. It's almost over a year and a half, sir, but we still are saying the same thing. I mean, when is our turn? 3/4 of this city get nothing from this administration, and I'm looking at all 7 of you because I can say that. Okay. But once again, I congratulate them that they received, but you gave it to them. You gave it to them. And I think it's ironic that this chamber and that this council could award them thousands of dollars. Crime in the city, 17 homicides, 17, honorable mayor. And you have someone that says that they're doing a great job. Honorable mayor, I'm looking in your eyes. He is not doing a great job.
Okay, Mr. Boyd.
Yeah, but that's how it is. But I remember this, and I'm going to close. I watched this program. You let everyone continue. But every time I come to this mic, okay, Mr. Boyd, but one day the city of Harrisburg will listen to me, but you don't have much time.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Monk. I'm here regarding the Zumbalicious program, and I'm just here to ask for follow-up where that process is, how long it might take, if I can get some information on that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Parker, are you ready to give any information on that?
I can give you the follow-up that we talked about at the last meeting. That
Okay.
If it's funded through our Highmark grant, then we will continue it, and that has not come through yet, so as soon as it comes through, we will.
Oh, okay. It was our understanding that the funding did come through? No?
There's no funding.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass that information along.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Lohmer. I'm a resident of Shipoke. Just also looking for some direction from the council. The parking issue on Vine Street. There is a no parking portion of the street that I want to find out how to get changed to alleviate some of the issue there. Is there someone I could speak to without having to wade through the website, which has been unsuccessful so far? Is there?
Okay. Can you,
Thank you. I'll
if
talk
you-
afterward.
if you have a couple of minutes afterwards, I'll meet with you regarding that.
That would be terrific. Thank you.
Tim Dowtrick, 1033 Melrose Street. I think we need to take a moment to wish Sandra Reed well. I don't always agree with her positions. I don't always go along with everything, but I give her a great deal of credit for being so vigilant in the causes that she believes. And I think regardless of whatever the situation may be, we need to take a moment and say a little prayer for her and wish her best and well, and look forward to her coming back, and whether I agree with her positions on things or not, for her to come back and don't let whatever it is keep you down. We're looking for you back.
Thank you. I'll pass
Thank
that
you.
on to her. Thank you, Mr. Doutrick.
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
My name is Larry Mitchell. I'm a longtime resident in the city of Harrisburg and a subcontractor, and now a homeless veteran. And the reason I became homeless was because of a contract with a contractor, respectfully ECI Construction, which breached my contract at a DGS project here at the Forum and Finance Building. ECI terminated my contract without without advance notice, and refused to pay my 19 workers who worked for ECI on this state DGS project for 29 days. My crew of 19 men performed a dangerous task of removing asbestos from the buildings, and we have not been paid to this day. After the dangerous and tenuous project was over with, neither ECI or DGS has paid any of my crew a penny at this time. I also must add that DGS has not complained about the quality of work. Mayor Pappenfuss, having DBE, MBE, veteran, and local contractors requirement means very little if subcontractors are going to be worked like animals and not paid a penny. I had 19 workers. After 18 months on this project, no one has been paid. Mayor Pappenfuss, about fair contracts, professional respect, prevailing wage, and timely pay, the contractor and the owner are responsible for this. Here are my questions to the City Council. As you begin to think about construction projects in the city of Harrisburg, is there a pre-qualification background check on construction contractors to do work in the city? Is there a procedure for following for filing a grievance against a contractor? Is there a procedure for filing a grievance against project owners? If such procedures are in place, is this information available to the general public? Until there is a grievance procedure and this information is publicly available, then project owners, developers, prime contractors will continue to take advantage of small contractors who are often disadvantaged veterans and African Americans. My last question is, would you please place me, a citizen, veteran, and subcontractor, on any board or committee that is responsible for setting up any such grievance procedures?
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Mitchell, could you give the information, your information to Mr. Petrosky, please? Mr. Petrosky. And we'll make sure we'll get back with you. Is your address on there and phone number?
My phone number.
Could you please give me your address?
I have a copy for everybody.
Here, we'll give it here and we'll just
We'll
pass
pass
it
it
down.
out.
Just give them here and we'll pass them out. Just give me all of that. I won't take them.
And could you give him your address before you leave? Mr. Mitchell, you give him your address? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, thank you.
That's the extra.
Anyone else to my right? Anyone in the middle? Please come to the mic.
Good evening, I'm Daniel D. Graham, 217 North 2nd Street here in Harrisburg. Two items about public safety. First, I congratulate you, Mayor Pappenfuse, and Police Chief Carter for taking a strong stand on the gun control regulations. I agree. Keep those gun regulations in effect and enforce the gun regulations that council and you, Mayor Pappenfuse, have passed and signed into law. Don't let the National Rifle Association dictate policy. We need these gun regulations for public safety, require background checks for all gun purchases, require all gun owners to report loss or theft of weapons as soon as they discover that guns have been lost or stolen. Report it to the police. And also ban all assault guns and all automatic weapons. These assault guns and any other automatic or semi-automatic weapons have no place in civilian life or on the streets. These are weapons of war. Again, no citizen needs these weapons of war for protection or sports, hunting or target shooting. Again, these assault guns and automatic or semi-automatic weapons must be banned. These kind of weapons are only for trained and qualified police officers and military personnel. So, again, keep all the, excuse me, again, keep all these gun regulations in effect and stand firm. Enforce all these gun regulations for public safety and keep our streets safe and keep all the good law-abiding citizens safe. One other issue, again, is also enforce all the, as I've said before, also enforce all the dog leash control laws. Another example is on this last Friday evening when I was walking home from the Morris Laundromat on North 2nd Street. Right after I left the laundromat, then another fella passed me walking his dog, but no leash, letting his dog walk around loose. That's wrong. Again, send the animal control officer around all day and all evening on North 2nd Street and watch out for dogs running around loose. This is another important public safety item to prevent dog attacks. And for general public safety, require all dogs be on a leash, and the leash must not be more than 6 feet long.
Thank you.
Thank you much. God bless.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Graham. Anyone else in the middle?
Madam President, Mayor Papenfuse, members of council, my name is Alan Kennedy Schaefer. Good evening.
Good evening.
Tonight, we do extend our sympathies to those in France. Je suis Charlie, nous sommes Charlie. We also lament the first 2 murders of 2015 in the city of Harrisburg within the first 2 weeks. There is much that we can do better. Our elected officials, we elect you to try to figure out how we can set policies in place, how we can guide our staff, the city staff, our agents to clean up our streets, to prevent blight. I would encourage you this year to also think about how we can restore trust in our elected officials. And I think that one of the first ways that you can do that is with a few easy measures. Term limits, making sure that elected officials and city officials pay their taxes and aren't owning blighted properties, and making sure that we prevent conflicts of interest as they arise. These are some simple measures that City Council can play a role in doing to move our city forward. I would also like to extend my congratulations to the mayor for standing up for the safety of our residents. So I appreciate his stand, just as Mr. Graham said. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle? Anyone to my right? I mean left, I'm sorry. Hearing none, thank you. We'll move on with the legislative session agenda. Moving on to approval of minutes. Approval of the legislative session minutes of December 23rd, 2014. Council members, are there any deletions, omissions, or corrections? Hearing none, may I have a vote, please?
A motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Minutes stand as approved. Moving on to reports of committees, we have none. Ordinance for first reading, we have none. And ordinance for amendment, we have none.
And I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the amendments for Bill 18.
Excuse me, Mr. Baltimore, are you asking that Bill 18 be brought up off the floor, off the table?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you making that a motion?
Yes.
Motion for Bill 18 to come off the floor. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Please call the vote for Bill 18 to be moved from the table.
You want me to read it into record?
Yes,
And
please
is
read.
it the amended version that was,
No, read Bill 18 to table. We didn't do the amended versions. We didn't, you have the amended version.
My motion is to reconsider the amendments.
You have to bring Bill 18 off the table because we didn't approve the amendments. I mean, we didn't reconsider the amendments that you gave us the other day. That's the new,
You voted on 10 amendments, the council did.
okay.
And so that as it stands, when you were finished voting, it was as amended with 10.
Okay,
and then
so
it was
we're bringing the table
as
as amended.
amended.
So
Yes.
this is off the table as amended. Please call the vote. Read it into record, please.
read it into
Bill
record
18.
first? Bill 18 of 2014 is an ordinance providing for residential and commercial 10-year tax abatement and exemption programs in the city of Harrisburg for qualifying improvements and new construction, designation of the city boundaries to be the qualifying boundaries for deteriorated neighborhoods, and a residential property program designating the city's boundaries as the qualifying boundaries for a commercial property program, providing for tax abatement exemption schedules for qualifying improvements. 2, in new construction of residential and commercial properties throughout Harrisburg, providing incentives for additional exemptions for job creation, ensuring minority business participation, prevailing wage, and residential participation in qualifying improvement and new construction projects, authorizing an administrator of these programs, ensuring due process of the applicants by authorizing the creation of a board of review, amending Chapter 5-503 of the codified ordinances of the city of Harrisburg to provide for these new programs, including the repeal of sections inconsistent with these new programs and related matters.
Okay, I have a question. Because Mr. Baltimore voted against the Bill 18 to bring it from the floor. Ms. Wilson and Mr. Kablinsky, are you not? Didn't she second?
No, we voted no.
Okay.
We didn't vote on the bill.
Wait a minute, excuse me. I've asked a question, everybody's speaking. I'm asking a question of the solicitor. In our statute, it says that who votes positive for that bill to come off the floor has to bring it up off the floor again if we table it. So now, where are we at with this, with the amendment? How does that differ from that statute?
It's actually the rules of council require that for reconsideration, which is under your Sturgis rules, the same thing as bringing it from the table, that a person who voted in favor of any prior piece of legislation or any amendment can make a motion at the next voting session to reconsider that. That is what this would be treated as a motion to reconsider, and it would have to be a person who made an affirmative vote for the amendment. And I believe, if I my recollection,
Everybody was affirmative, sure.
Mr. Baltimore made an affirmative vote.
Right.
So I think he would be qualified to make that motion. That's my reading of the rules. I will note that we had sent counsel down from my office a marked copy with the 10 amendments in it that we
I
had sent
received that.
down. I think everybody got those.
Okay.
So if you were like a clean copy, we have that here.
So even though we put this on the table as amended, I guess my reading of the statute was different because the statute indicated.
There was no vote on the bill itself, so it's not for reconsideration on the full bill.
It was just on the amendments. It wasn't on the full, that's why.
And we're not in a true discussion of which amendment we're reconsidering at this point, correct?
Right, it's a motion to reconsider, as I understood it, to bring it back onto the table, which under our rules would be the motion to
Yeah, but it has to
reconsider.
be brought off the table, then as amended, Mr. Grover. Because as we put it on, we tabled it.
It was tabled, and what we did is went back, and if you recall, in the city council rules,
Statute.
no, the city council rules has reconsideration in it. You pass those rules based on the fact it's a statute that gives you that power, and a charter gives you that power. In those rules, it has, if the rules are silent, you've incorporated the rules, the standard code of parliamentary procedures.
Excuse me, let me just take a minute and suspend the rules so we can go into conversation, because this is going to be a lengthy conversation. May I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
So moved.
First and second, okay, go ahead.
So when you look at the standard code of parliamentary procedure, what it advises us is that
Thursday, I don't have my book
a
either.
motion to table when a matter is tabled expires at the end of the meeting the tabling occurred in. So, and they call it different things, but that does, and then it can be brought back by whatever mechanism there is, and the mechanism here is a reconsideration motion. So if I understood what Mr. Baltimore just said, he had a motion to reconsider amendments to Bill 18. That was the last thing voted on, was 10 amendments, and he can bring that back to the floor. If that's affirmatively voted with 4 votes to bring it back to the floor, then it's in the status it was then. It's free to make any amendment or changes, because that's the process you were in when it was tabled. So you were in the middle of voting on amendments. So that would be, there would have to be a specific vote first on reconsideration to grant it or not. And then if there's a specific, if there's a specific change in the amendments that wants to be reconsidered, that has to be voted on. So it's 2 votes essentially. It's a motion to reconsider, yes or no. The council will agree to reconsider something that was before. 2, what is it to be reconsidered?
That's not how I read that. I mean, I know you're a lawyer, but that's not what I read in the statute. Any other questions or comments?
Well, the last time we tabled it, we tabled it partially because you said you had a lot of legal questions you didn't have the legal answers to, and so what were the answers?
The answers were that with the graduated, which is the stepped 10% per year, which took 2 sections and made them 1. That was, I think, Amendment 6 and Amendment 7.
So it's 10% every year? It's 10% every year now?
That was what was amended into it, was a 10% step per year. That was Amendment, I think, 6 and 7. Basically, 7 amended 6. 6 created the step, 7 then cleared up which properties, improvements versus new construction was in there.
So does it have any, okay, I don't see the target, so you didn't put that, you didn't include the target areas?
So what was then what was the question?
The question then was, how would that impact the rest of the legislation without going back and comparing, because we had commercial and residential set in Part 1, Part 2, and our view was it was still workable with the 10%. There may have to be something that gets tweaked or an explanation that has to be made for alert or administrator, but they still existed. Workable in the sense that technically it could happen. But when we left it last time, what I didn't know was whether we were done amending. So, you know, our analysis is with that as written, as amended, that could work, and you had the 10% staged, City Council did, that was passed in 1999. Different than this legislation, but the mechanism with the alert administrator would still work. It may impair some of the administrator's powers because of all the appeal rights, and it would become very cumbersome because of the 10% would become, I think, one of the issues when people are applying and certifying every year. But mechanically, it seemed that the statute worked with those amendments. But
I see the target. I mean, I don't see the target. I see the 10% every year.
Is there something missing, Madam President? Great. It remains.
Okay. All right, now, I see.
Is there still the rest of the years moving? This is gonna be.
Okay, any other questions or comments, council members? I do see, I apologize, I do see the 10% every year.
You're looking at page where it starts with 151, it has the table there, line 151.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, council members? If not, I have a motion to go back into session.
So moved.
Second, first and second, thank you. We're back into session. We're considering Bill 18 for reconsideration. Please call the vote, Mr. Petrosky.
Just for clarification, just, so Bill 18,
As
as you
amended.
brought down, was amended, and this is
The
the
amendment.
amended version, so we're just voting on this as amended, and if Bill 18 passes, then that's all that would need to pass is this vote.
No, if this, all this vote is at the moment is whether council will put it back and reconsider it tonight. And then once it.
To bring it, because it was tabled.
Right.
Nothing less.
That's
Okay.
all this first vote is, and I assume that's followed by a second vote on what people want
The
to
amendment.
do. Right.
Okay, so this is the motion to bring it back from the floor, since it was tabled. All right, Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
No.
Mr. Kaplinski?
No.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson? Ms. Williams?
No.
Okay, so that's 3-3 and the motion fails.
Moving on to ordinance of final passage. Bill 20, 2014. Please read that into record, Mr. Petrosky.
Bill 20 of 2014 was moved by Mr. Allett, second by Ms. Daniels. It's an ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Harrisburg, Title V, Licensing and Taxation, Part 5, Real Estate Taxes, Chapter 5-501, Property Tax by establishing for the year 2015 a tax levy on land and improvements and providing for the distribution of taxes levied and assessed and providing for a tax rebate for the difference between tax due and attributable to the year 2006 tax levy for qualifying senior citizens.
Is there any questions or comments on Bill 20? Hearing none, please call the vote, Mr. Petrosky.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Yes.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Bill 20 passes.
Moving on to resolutions, Resolution 127.
Resolution 127 of 2014 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution confirming the appointment of Douglas L. Walmer, Esquire, to serve as the Deputy City Solicitor for the City of Harrisburg.
Any questions or comments on this, council members? Please call the vote, Mr. Petrosky.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Yes.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 127 passes.
Moving on to Resolution 128.
Resolution 128 of 2014 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution confirming the appointment of Marta Riffin, Esquire, to serve as an Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Harrisburg.
Questions or comments on 128? Hearing none, please call the vote, Mr. Petrosky.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Yes.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 128 passes.
Moving on to Resolution 1 of 2015.
Resolution 1 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution authorizing the issuance of a tax and revenue anticipation note in the amount not to exceed a sum of $4 million. It says $4,500,000 in parentheses.
Okay, that would be placed in Budget and Finance Committee. Moving on to Resolution 2 of 2015.
Resolution 2 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution approving an agreement of sale with Brindley Mountain Fire Apparatus LLC for the trade-in of 4 fire trucks in exchange for a 1996 Suffolk Tower fire truck and $38,000.
Is there any questions or comments on Resolution 2? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Yes.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 2 of 2015 passes.
Moving on to Resolution 3 of 2015.
Resolution 3 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution approving the adoption of Dauphin County 2011 Hazard Mitigation Plan as the official hazard mitigation plan of the city.
That would be placed in Public Safety Committee. Moving on to Resolution 4, 2015.
Resolution 4 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, or PennDOT, for necessary funds for the traffic signal control system upgrades.
That also will be placed in Public Safety Committee. Moving on to Resolution 5 of 2015.
Resolution 5 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution approving the purchase of a 2005 International Recycling Truck from Shippensburg Borough.
Any questions or comments on Resolution 5? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Yes.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 5 passes.
Moving on to Resolution 6 of 2015.
Resolution 6 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution approving the purchase of a 2001 International Real Loader Truck, trash truck from Conshohocken Borough.
Any questions or comments on Resolution 6? Hearing none, council members, please call the vote. Mr. Petrosky.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Mr. Baltimore?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Mr. Kaplinski?
Yes.
Ms. Reed? Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Resolution 6 passes.
Moving on to Resolution 7 of 2015.
Resolution 7 of 2015 was moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Mr. Allett. It's a resolution authorizing the approval, execution, and submission of a settlement agreement between the coordinator of the City of Harrisburg, the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Harrisburg, and Assured Guarantee Municipal Corporation to allow for adjustments of the debt service requirements on bonds guaranteed by the City of Harrisburg and facilitate the relating of related real property.
That will be placed in Administration Committee. Moving on to old business, council members. Moving on to new business, council members.
Yes, we will have a joint Budget and Finance and Public Safety Committee meeting on Monday, January 26th at 5:30 here in council chambers.
Okay. Any other new business?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Baltimore.
This may not be big news to many of you, but I'd just like to brag on my kid. He deadlifted triple his body weight. That's 510 pounds. He's about 167 pounds. So I think there are very few people in this world that can do that. And so I just wanted to give him some publicity. He's a strong boy.
Okay, congratulations, Mr. Baltimore.
Triple body weight, not
Okay.
double. Triple body weight.
Is that bench press?
Deadlift.
Deadlift.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Any other new business?
Well,
Ms. Daniels?
Yeah. I wanted to ask the administration to perhaps at the next legislative session take the opportunity to explain why garbage from a private developer was dumped on city-owned property at 6th and Emerald, impacting the neighborhood children and businesses, and according to the neighborhood, that was done with your authorization. So I'd just like to give you that opportunity to explain what happened.
Okay. Okay, any other new business, council members? I do have a couple, I do have a couple announcements. The Administration Committee will have a meeting on January 21st at 5:30 PM here in council chambers, and another follow-up meeting January 22nd at 5:30 PM here in council chambers. I was going to congratulate you, Ms. Parker, because I was under the impression Mr. Johnson told me that we did have the funding and also the location for the Zumba classes. And here I find tonight that... Okay, well, I was told differently than, I was going to...
Nor do I know anything about a new location, but I'll...
Okay. Well, I was told that we did have a location and we did have the funding, so I guess we'll have to get together and find out what's going on with that, because we had addressed the administration in our budget and finance, and we requested that they find funding for the Zumba classes to resume. So I will meet with you at a later date to find out what's going on. I would like to announce that Martin Luther King Jr. Performing Artist Showcase is January 20th. That's this Monday at 2 p.m. in the Forum. The event is free, and Mr. Summerford asked that anyone interested in tickets, he can be reached through City Council. I suggest that everybody go. It's a wonderful showcase. Mr. Summerford does a great deal, puts a great deal of work into this, and he has wonderful artists performing. So that's Monday, January 20th at 2 p.m. in the Forum. Oh, he does have a number here, okay. 717-319-9240, and that's contact Phyllis Bennett. Any other new business, council members? Hearing none, may I ask for an
Executive
adjournment?
session, ma'am?
Pardon me?
You want to note the executive session?
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, I turned my paper over. City Council will be having an executive session tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m., and it's regarding real estate-related matters. Any other new business? Hearing none, may I ask for a motion to adjourn? Thank you. I have a first and second. Meeting's adjourned.